Apple is reportedly laying down some big bucks to use Google's cloud services. So what does this say about those companies' ongoing rivalry? Well, joining us now to talk about that is Josh Marsh, CEO of ConverSocial. Josh, thanks for joining us today.
Hi.
So tell us about the deal itself. While this may not be on the average consumer's mind, it's certainly been on investors' minds. We've got the cloud has become just such an important part of these tech giants' businesses. How significant is this deal?
Sure. So Apple spend about $1 billion a year on cloud services to power all of their cloud offerings, iCloud, backing up Apple streaming, all that kind of thing. So it's a pretty huge deal. Almost all of that was on Amazon's AWS. I think a bit was on Microsoft's Azure as well. And they've now shifted reportedly like $400 to $600 million over to Google. So I mean, for Apple, I think this is part of just sharing the risk, working with multiple vendors. There's a lot of reports that they're also investing much more heavily into their own data centers. So over the next few years, I expect they'll be doing more of this themselves. But it's definitely a huge boon for Google's own computing platform, potentially doubling the revenue for Google, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, sharing the risk. We all know that Google and Apple have been really fierce rivals in many other areas of business. What does this deal say to you about the company's relationship, especially if Apple's going to start making its own investments?
Sure. I don't think this says anything particularly about the competitive dynamics. When you look at the big tech world today, lots of different parts of the businesses are competing with each other, whilst another part are cooperating and supplying each other, just like with Samsung and Apple, who compete on phones and also supply parts to each other. I think in today's world, these big vendors, big tech companies are doing so much that they can't rely on just kind of competing to the death on every single different part of their business, and they really have to work together to ensure they're delivering the best possible services at the best cost.
Yeah, frenemies. How does this deal affect Amazon and also Microsoft, which are major players in the cloud space?
I mean, when you look at the market share of Amazon cloud computing, I think they have over like 30% of the market, whereas Google are kind of in the single-digit percentages, same as Microsoft. So I don't think it's going to hurt Amazon's kind of dominant position, but it certainly suggests that this isn't just going to be a market of one, and that Google and Microsoft as well are going to be able to build pretty major platforms. I mean, if you look at this today, it's not just the huge vendors like Apple needing to shift everything to the cloud. I mean, every single company, every single major organization in the world has a huge amount of tech services, whether that's the contact center, customer service, their CRM system, and all of that is shifting into the cloud. It's part of what we do at ConverSocial, helping shift companies' customer service into the cloud for social. And all of these software platforms need to be running on some kind of data centers. And for the vast majority of companies in the world, that means they're going to use a data center like Amazon, like Google's Cloud Compute, like Microsoft Azure. And so these platforms they're the kind of backbone of the internet, and they're only going to keep getting bigger. There are actually some analysts today who are kind of predicting that Google's cloud computing platform is going to be generating more revenue for Google than they're going to be getting from Amazon in the next 5 years. It's pretty bullish, but with all software shifting to the cloud, these are going to be some of the most important parts of our kind of infrastructure over the next few years.
And I guess just in light of that, what can investors take away from this deal in light of that explosive growth we have seen for companies like Amazon, Microsoft, et cetera, where cloud services are concerned?
Sure. I mean, I think that investors are going to have to start paying more and more attention to the cloud computing businesses within Google, within Amazon, within Microsoft. These are becoming so fundamentally important and such large parts of their businesses that investors really need to understand the dynamics of how those businesses are growing to be able to properly value people like Google and Amazon in future.
Josh Marsh, thanks for joining us today. Thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.